The conflicts in the Middle East, being that you were from the Middle East originally from Syria, okay. I was over in the Middle East back in 2003 in OIF, or Operation Iraqi Freedom. So I've been to the region. I've seen a lot of things that's gone on there. People don't realize in countries like Iraq, it's very tribal. There's, the Sunnis, the Shiites, and the Kurds up in the north. Right now, Turkey has invaded into Syria's territory over the past month. The president just had a press conference with the president of Turkey. A lot of people are not very impressed of what happened with our troops there, abandoning the base to get them out of harm's way for the Turkey to come in. But now there's Russian troops also in that region. How do you handle, as a member of Congress, the conflict that is currently going on in the Middle East? And is it okay for us to maintain troop levels there, or is it time for our troops to come home?
First, thank you for your service, Kevin. It's an amazing thing. As far as the conflict there, it's very complicated. As you said, there are different tribes, different religions, different sects within each religion, and every region, every piece of the land there is almost like its own sovereign land. Their own ruling, their own court, their own police, their own everything. So it needs someone strong enough to control the entire land and to say, this is what needs to be done. When that's not present, that's when you see the chaos. So we're there to kind of have that, that control with the allies to say, you need to maintain your control within your area and not to move over to the next tribe. That's how wars would start. As far as Turkey, as far as our own soldiers, we moved them out of harm's way, and we didn't have a follow-up plan. I think that was a mistake that we did. Now, the hindsight is 2020, but I think if we had a plan on what to do with Turkey to not allow them to come in and kill the Kurds, and 400 people died within 48 hours.
Right.
They hated each other there.
Right. We're not going to fix there's been problems there for thousands of years between the tribes and the people that live in that region. And those borders were basically put together by European allies after World War II, and it wasn't up to the tribes to have to live with each other. That's what people may not understand. And I've met many people over there in the Middle East, and they're great people. They're people that, really want like that opportunity to, live their lives as they see fit without outside intervention. So, I have a lot of, I guess I've had skin in the game where I've seen how the people have been affected. And it's very sad. Turkey is supposedly a NATO ally. Given everything that's happened since Erdogan has risen to power, do you think they should still stay in NATO, or do you think there should be talk of removing them from NATO? How is practice in law in a country that it doesn't favor the people, favors government more?
So you see, and just to touch a little bit on what you said prior, Venezuela has gone down very quickly, but that's the reason as to why I decided to join activism here in the US. It's because there are a lot of leading signs to a situation like Venezuela, to Brazil, to Cuba, whatever. There are a lot of leading signs that because we don't know, we are oblivious to them. And I saw all of those leading signs here in the US. So we may think, oh, it happened instantly, but the government was slowly putting in all of the seeds to make sure that when they wanted to take power, they could take power. So they slowly start disarming people. They slowly start bringing up class wars, race wars, and all of the things that they do to divide people. And they impoverish the population. And so eventually a situation of dictatorship takes place, but it didn't just happen, right? It was slowly put in place like that. And that's what I saw coming here into the United States. I saw a lot of those leading signs, and I thought, I've seen this before, exactly the same thing. It happens all the time, exactly the same. We think we're going to do better. We're going to be, the first ones to make socialism actually work, but we're not. And so going back to the attorney question, my mother was actually a conservative attorney for the Conservative Party. So you see that now the government has all of this power. Government in a socialist country, they have all of these employment rules that make it very hard because they don't want people to open businesses, right? They don't want people to have the ability to exploit workers, and they think that things like a minimum wage is exploitation. So they want to pay incredibly high salaries, and they have incredibly high, I wouldn't say high, but incredibly difficult employment laws for the small businesses to adhere to. So now you have small businesses declaring bankruptcy. Nobody can have a business anymore. Who is the biggest employer? Is the government. And now, if you go against the government, if you have a history of working for the Conservative Party, for example, then you're screwed. So every time you have show a little bit of dissent, then now you don't have the ability to support your family anymore. In fact, that's one of the reasons as to why we actually went into homelessness and in one of my walks and things like that, because you don't have a set place to go. One of my walks, I ended up in the house of this teacher, and she was a middle school teacher, and she was really upset because she was not going to receive her salary because she was critical of the mayor, and the mayor now holds all of this power. She was critical of the mayor's administration, and now the mayor is withholding her salary. She has no means to feed herself. So you find the whole country in the situation of everybody is so afraid to speak up, but yet there were so many little things happening that if only we knew all the signs, maybe we could have stopped it then. And that's my hope for the US. Maybe we could stop it before that happens.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Subscribe to the show, like it, and comment. Also, if you want the audio version because you're traveling, you're in the car, and you can't watch it, you don't have time to watch the episodes, you could go in the show notes. There is a link provided. Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever your pleasure may be. Join me and listen via the audio versions on those other platforms, okay? But I really like YouTube. I like the way it's working out. And if you can, subscribe. The more subscribers, the better the content I can provide you, and it costs you nothing. So I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.